Hey, what's going on, guys? We're going to do a video today, in-depth look at the KS40 from KS Ultralight. Had it about 2 years, I think taking it on something like 5 trips, including a pretty heavy trip to the 100-mile wilderness. So yeah, we'll just start going through the bag. Mine's in Dyneema 210, and yeah, I guess we'll start with the material first. In retrospect, if I was getting this bag today, I would get it with VX07. VX07 isn't necessarily new, but I really didn't know too much about it, and I've always kind of wanted a Dyneema 210X bag. Jupiter Hikes took a Palante pack on the Eastern Continental Divide Trail, or the International Trail, I can't remember what it is, something like 4,800 miles, and reported back really good wear and abrasion. So I would just go for VX07. It's a little bit more water resistant than 210X, although it's not to say I've had like soaking problems, you know, like waterlog problems. I haven't had any of that. It's just VX07 is just more water resistant, and if it's the same durability, you might as well get that. So, but yeah, but really no complaints out of this either. It's kind of a decision that, you know, you're right either way. Got 500 denier on the bottom. I got the 4 little loops right here on the bottom. Kind of glad I did. I didn't really have a specific reason to do it, but now I kind of want to do like a Palante stretch mesh bottom right here. Do not ask Laurent to do a pocket down here. He's already told people he won't do that. So yeah. So moving up, I got an ice axe right here. Going around to the pockets, there's a little hole right here for drainage. Not too many people mention that, and I don't even think he talks about it on his website, but there's a drain hole right here. When I first ordered this, one of the very first emails back from Laurent was, I ordered the regular mesh on the back, and he wrote back to said, hey, it's better to go with the strong mesh on the back. It's been really good, and it is strong. It doesn't feel like it's very expansive that way, like a stretchy stretch mesh, but anything I've ever wanted to get in here, I've been able to get in here, so it's not really a huge deal. So yeah, going around to the side, you've got you know, compression straps right here. If you're like me, a lot of times you forget to even like compress those. So yeah, let's go to what kind of makes this bag special, which are these metal stays right here. If you take them out, it's 2 ounces, so if you don't want to use these, you can take them out and save 2 ounces. By the way, the total weight of this bag is 16 ounces, okay? The metal stays are what kind of differentiate this from other bags. I think I've said it in another video. Because of these metal stays, this is the perfect bridge pack between an empty bag like a Palante packs, Simple Pack, or an MLD Burn, or an MLD Profit, or any of the Gossamer Gear, just empty bags, maybe like the Kumo, although Kumo has you can put a nightlight in there. So it's a bridge pack between those packs and heavier bags like the 21-ounce Z-Packs Arc Blast or Arc Haul, or the 28-ounce Hyperlight Mountain Gear 2400. And I really think for the majority of users that are around the 10-pound base weight range, this is the perfect pack for you, because if you're 10 pounds base weight on typical trips, you're going to be like 23, 24, 25. 25's getting up there. The heaviest I've put was 6 days of food. That was 26 pounds. But if you're around that range, you're gonna be left a little bit wanting with the empty bags like the MLD Burn, because they're pretty much good to 20. You can overdo it and be uncomfortable. And you know, if you've got a Z-Packs, or if you've got a KS40, you can take this up to about 27, 28 pounds and still be good. You know, an Arc Blast, a Z-Packs Arc Blast is rated to 35 pounds. So you can see that this is kind of a middle ground pack, and it's all because of these metal stays. We were talking about, somebody asked on Reddit Ultralight the other day, what exactly is a frame, what does it do? You know, this isn't a fully featured frame, but it does, I've got a 1/8 inch pad right here, which is the kind of comfort side of things. And I kind of mentioned, I talked to my physics professor one time about what's the physics principle here behind frames, and specifically these metal stays. And you kind of put it this way, these metal stays, if you think of a 10-pound block on high here, you can see that the metal stay is going to directly transfer all that weight down to the hips. Well, if instead of this metal stay there was a 10-pound block and a floppy cotton string trying to hold up the 10-pound block, obviously it's not going to vector any of the forces. And that's kind of the principle behind a frame. It's taking all the weight from up here and as the bag draws down and directing it directly to the hips, where sometimes you want it. I'm not always a huge believer in, like, you know, you should have your hip belt on. There's a kind of a, you know, a somewhat of a movement, or more people trying it and doing it where you're hip beltless. And I kind of like having no hip belt on uphills. It really sort of lets your stomach go and breathe more. But I like having a hip belt on the downhills and on level. So I kind of use the hip belt on those areas. And if I'm really going uphill, like I'm in the Rockies or something like that, and I'm really huffing and puffing, I'll just undo the hip belt just for that climb, and just so I can breathe better. So yeah, that's what makes this bag special. I'll give you some detail here, right where that stay connects. It's burly. It's constructed well. This whole bag is constructed well. In fact, while I'm up here, I was gonna undo the bag, but you see this grosgrain ribbon right here? The entire inside of the bag is like this. All the seams have this like 10mm grosgrain with this nice synthetic stitching on both sides, and it's finished really nice. To my knowledge, Laurent is the only employee of KS40, so he gets plenty of sewing practice, and you can tell it's really finished well and done well. So we're kind of going around. I use a 1/8 inch pad in the back here. I love this thing. I'm going to do a little bit right now. I'm going to do a little bit of a video inside of a video. 1/8 inch pads are awesome. I love them. You can use this thing 8 different ways, and if you're trying to save weight, you really want multi-use items, you can use this as a sit pad. You can use this, unfurl it all the way out. It goes from my head down to like my middle thighs. You can use it as kind of a siesta pad. You can use it to extend the warmth of your, I use a Nemo Tensor, but an X-Lite, you know, on a particularly cold night, this will, you know, see you through a little bit. You can also use it as torso insulation. Somebody the other day was like, you can wrap this stuff around your torso as emergency torso insulation, or even as like a warm skirt. You can like put it around your waist if all you bought was like wind pants and you had a cold snap and your legs were freezing. You could put this around your thighs as well. And it also serves as the back pad, so that's like 8 uses. So I love these pads. So yeah, that's what I use. Word of warning, somebody the other day on Reddit thought that you could put a 3-layer Gossamer Gear nightlight inside this pad pocket. You can't. I think people got that idea from my first video when I was on Isle Royal. You can only fit, you know, about that thickness of pad in there. So yeah. So yeah, that pretty much does it for that. So the bag's not perfect. I already mentioned I wish it had kind of a Palante stretch mesh bottom. That would be really nice. And also my old Granite Gear Crown VC60 had stretch mesh pockets up high, and I really missed that, so I made some of my own. It'd be really cool if Laurent would integrate those into the pack. If you want to make these, all you have to do is go to questoutfitters.com and get the 1209C heavy lycra mesh. It's the same mesh that Palante uses on their packs, and you can make your own stretch mesh pockets. So yeah, I don't think I'll ever have a backpack that doesn't have these stretch mesh pockets on it. Let me get a little bit closer. All it is a tube, and you can just make it yourself and just put it on there, and it's extremely useful. You can put whatever you want in there, a phone if it'll fit, and you know, food, So I opted for the closed top. Let's look at it just for a sec. See how small that opening is? Don't think that water's gonna get in there and get all your stuff wet. It's not gonna happen, even in torrential rains. Just a little bit of water may get in there, but it's not gonna be a deal breaker. You're gonna have a water cover in there anyway, so I think it saves a little bit of weight. The collar goes up. Let's see if you can see it. Collar goes up about that high. So about that high. So some extra room there. That's all I've ever needed. Like I said, I put 6 days of food in this in the 100-mile wilderness. It rode well, and it was definitely maxing out the bag, but it was comfortable, and I don't really ever foresee anything greater than 6 or 7 days extra. And if it does get 6 or 7 days extra, just strap the tent to the top on this on the top roll top. So, or if you want to like pack out like a big, you know, thing of salad or a cake or something like that, you can make do. If I was to do any kind of through hike, I would definitely take the 40 liter. My base weight for a through hike would be about 8 pounds or probably less. So this is, I feel like this is definitely a through hiking pack. It just may be a little cramped at times. So let's go over the pockets a little bit, the sizing of the pockets. So here's a smart water bottle, about a liter. Notice you have room right here. Notice I have maps in the back. So there's definite room. You can easily reach behind you as you're using this pack and get to any items that you want in here. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. I do want to go over a few things. Let me check out some notes I have here. Oh, about his website. His website is sort of antiquated. It needs some work, but just be patient and don't worry about ordering off of his website. If something conflicts, he'll let you know, and Lauren's English is perfect, it's fine. I think there's probably 4 or 5 guys that I've seen comment on Reddit Ultralight, and none of them have ultimately had a problem. So, you know, fire up Google for the yen conversions, yen to whatever your currency is. It's super simple. Just don't worry about the website. If you're worried about something, one, it's good to have options. He has 19 options for his bags, and more, especially as cottage makers get more successful, they take those options down. Like Z-Packs, you used to be able to do custom stuff with Z-Packs, and you can't anymore. So just be patient with it. It's custom stuff. It's exactly what you want. So you should probably order from people like that. So yeah, I've been over that. Oh, let's go over some options on the website. You know, I was talking about 26 pounds and how that's probably the upper limit for this bag. I really wish somebody would order this with the anatomic belt. So not the regular belt, but the anatomic belt. That may increase carrying comfort and capacity even more. So somebody should try that. So yeah, I didn't talk about it yet, but I kind of have this thing in me when I see bags. Again, this is a perfect sweet spot bag, I feel, for most ultralight carries. And you know, personally, I just don't feel like you need a 2-pound bag like most of the Gossamer gear line, like the Hyperlight Mountain Gear 2400. I mean, it's okay and it's good. It's a good solution to have 8 pounds in those packs, but I think the packs are overbuilt for 8-pound base weights. I think, you know, if you have a lightweight setup, don't get a 2-pound bag. Get something like this, or get like a Gossamer gear bag and strip it down. Or the Arc Blast is good at 21 ounces, but Arc Blast is rated for 35 pounds, and if you're an ultralight hiker, you're not going to have 35-pound weights on a regular, just garden variety hiking trip. So I guess what I'm saying is don't get those bags. Get this bag, get something, if you're even lighter, get a Palante pack, or an empty bag. Ultimately, get what you want, but I'm just not a proponent of getting a 2-pound bag, like a 28-ounce Hyperlight Mountain Gear 2400, when you carry so little. I like part of ultralight is like just getting what you need. And when I sort of did the math on this bag, it really is, for most of the about 8 to 12 pound range, just what you need and nothing more. So that's pretty much it. I'm sure, you know, I misspoke on some things. I'll annotate the video. If you have any questions, just let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching. Later.